You're listening to another Geek Pride podcast.
Welcome everybody, I'm Giulietta Zawadzki and welcome to the Giulietta Show. No, I'm just kidding.
Presumption.
Nice.
I've been waiting to do that for a while. Take two. Welcome to Geek Pridecast. I'm with
Matt Geary,
David Foy.
Sean Wallace.
Bevan XCOM.
Yo-hoo.
Back out with it.
Don't give it to you.
Every time.
I love XCOM!
yeah, he's called XCOM Giulietta because everybody forgets his name.
Aww.
And then
It was cool. No, it worked. I got to pick a really cool surname instead. Instead of,
oh yeah, saying that our random giveaway where you can get some Powerade and a nutrition bar and some other random stuff is because XCOM going to give it to you. XCOM give it to you. That's
Has
our,
anyone checked
that's
the
our, that's our
hashtag yet?
giveaway. No, because I haven't. Because that podcast isn't out yet. Because Michael is too busy doing selfies in the snow and not sending.
Can I just very quickly address the last giveaway? Because my friend won the last giveaway.
Oh, is that your mates?
Yeah, that's my friend Phil Reynolds, Ronaldo on Twitter. He's the one who actually won it, which was pretty weird for me to see on Twitter because I just going through Twitter and seeing like Geek Pride going to my friend. Oh, by the way, you won the Northern Irish Fancy.
Have you got it for
They've
him,
been
Dave,
bought,
by the
but they
way?
haven't been posted as yet. So they have been bought.
Okay, well, just let me know.
I'm kind of worried because like sending 4 bottles of a liquid through the post. I'm kind of worried that the PSNI are going to turn up at my door, kind of going, who are you trying to blow up here? Is this explosive? No, it's Northern Irish Fanta, I swear.
It's the best thing ever. Why are you taking this out of our country, man? Traitor.
Illegal export.
Why give it to them over there? Yeah. Right. Okay. So, Giulietta,
Yo.
guest host. How's things? What you been up to?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks. Currently just working on my next costume for February, and that's pretty much all I ever do. So, yeah.
So, for anybody who's obviously lived under a rock or doesn't know who you are, do you want to sort of explain to everybody who you are, what you do, what's your thing?
Hi, my name's Giulietta Zawadzki. I am an alcoholic. I'm not really.
She totally is. She's Polish.
Trying to say, man,
Only
come
part
on.
Polish.
Oh. Says the Irishman, for Christ's sake.
That is a
The
legitimate
Irish are known
point.
for their sobriety.
That's like the cat calling that's like the drunk kettle calling the black drunk other kettle black.
Sounded right in your head, man.
Take 2.
How much have you had to drink?
Not very much. No, nothing. I haven't drank anything today.
Just some whiskey on my cornflakes.
Without the cornflakes.
Yeah, whiskey sans cornflakes. It was virgin cornflakes.
Nice.
So, Giulietta, very quickly, just want to say, are you dressed as the Empress of
I
Mankind
am.
in the
Yeah.
Skype
Yes.
picture?
Yes.
That is
so cool.
amazing. I am so happy with that. That is
Thank you.
I bowed to her when I first saw her and that.
And we actually got a photo of that as well.
We did, and it went mad. People loved it.
So is
It's
that
all
one
over
of the
the
suits
place.
with? Do you have like the stilts in there as well, or is it sort of normal sized one, or? Because I can't tell by the perspective from here.
Well, I'm
Good.
kind of glad that I'm not actually about 7 foot tall, but yeah, it does actually have stilts.
Oh, amazing! They're so cool.
It looks fantastic. It really does. Like, we can see you being the God Empress of Mankind and leading us into, pretty much terrible future, but I can see it happening based on that
And it's
outfit.
getting more terrible at the minute when it comes to the 40k universe, Sean. Shit is going down. Cadia has fallen, and what's going on? But anyway, so Giulietta, so you're a full-time cosplayer?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
And you have what, like 90,000 followers?
Yeah, around about that, I think. I haven't really checked recently.
I remember the day when you were only at a couple of thigh back in the day. Look at you now. It's only been what a 2 year. How long you been doing it for? A couple of years?
Yeah, 2 years now.
Has it? Has the? It's not fame. The internet fames. Has it taken you by surprise? Or are you like, yeah, I'm totally worth that?
Well, I am kind of a big deal, so.
I'm worth 900,000.
I'm kind of a big deal.
No, I mean, I don't know. It's weird, and it's kind of also like, oh, okay, cool.
So what made you do it? So what made you do it? Obviously, the cosplay things, but you've been doing that for 2 years. So you did. You're an artist. You do art. So what made you move from the art thing to the cosplay thing? What thought? Hey, you know what? I'm gonna build costumes for a living.
To be honest, it was when I was actually doing my last year of university. I didn't really get on with the teachers because they didn't really like my work. They were just like, "Oh, this is a bit kind of illustration-y," if that's a word.
What's illustration-y? So what did they mean by that?
Well, I kind of like, because obviously for 3 years of my university, I constantly did projects on like video games and kind of like geek culture, and I kind of basically, to be good at art, you've got to be very good at bullshitting. So I was like, right, okay, maybe if I put it under a title of like escaping reality and kind of go from like a weird, quirky angle, then I could maybe get away with drawing fantasy things. My teachers didn't like this, so I was like, oh god, like I don't know what to do. Like my paintings kind of look like what they're supposed to, and yet it's still not good enough. So just as a joke, I actually threw in one of the Halloween costumes that I made, which is actually my Demon Hunter costume that people might know of today. It's shit. I know it's shit, but it was literally just a Halloween costume that I threw together. And I put that in, and they were like, oh my god, wow, this is like so amazing, and ooh. And literally, so my friend at the time was like, well, if you really like making costumes and you like wearing them, you should go to a Comic-Con. So obviously that was my first Comic-Con, London MCM, in October 2014. And then just pretty much since then, I was like, holy crap, guys, like I found my calling. I love this. So that's kind of how it happened.
Was it like because I remember my first convention I went down to, actually I went to the Manchester one first, which isn't huge compared to say the London one, but I remember going to London and just being like, oh my god, this is like an assault on my geeky senses. The whole thing, it's like wow, amazing. Was it like something when you went down there, did you just go, I found a place that I fit in, this is something special?
Oh god, yeah. I remember going back to before I actually knew what cosplaying was. I went out for my birthday and I was dressed in like, it was kind of like a cave girl sort of outfit, but I was like, it's Skyrim. And like I thought I looked really cool. Anyway, I remember going to this nightclub and all my friends were like dressed up in like video game style clothes, and this kind of like, I'd say normal girl was like, oh, what's going on here? Like, why are you all dressed up? And I was like, 'cause it's my birthday. And I got a lot of like, because I always used to like dressing up, so I used to get a lot of shit from people at university because it was just like, nobody wants to dress up, Giulietta, like you're on your own here. And then as soon as you go to a Comic-Con, like practically everybody's dressed up, and it was like, oh my god, I found a place that the harder I try with my costume, the more people will like it. So it was just like, yeah, okay, I found my home now.
Amazing, yeah.
So, given infinite budget then, like literally Bill Gates has just gone weird and he's given you as much money as you need, who or what would you cosplay as?
Oh, it might have to be a Titan from Warhammer, but I would obviously it couldn't be life size even with that kind of money. it would have to be slightly bigger than usual, but not too big. But yeah, I'd definitely do that.
What? Ooh, Reaver, Warhound, Emperor, and ooh.
No, Imperator.
Yeah,
Go
just
for
go
it.
for an
Really go for it.
Massive. You got unlimited budget. You might as well just go, hey Bill, I'm gonna build an Imperator Titan, so
Give me your money.
Give me your money, mofo. So this is something which I love. You're a lass who enjoys Warhammer. You're it's something you don't see very often.
Yeah, how did that start for you? I mean, for a lot of people, it's obviously the tabletop game itself, and let's say that many of the people who are initially attracted to tabletop games aren't the most welcoming of non-men. So how did that work for you, Giulietta? How did you get into 40k?
I actually kind of agree with you there, because the amount of times I've been into workshop stores, they kind of look at you like as if to say, what are you doing in here, like, can we help you?
Where's your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's true though, because I remember going in with my ex once, like years back, and like she's just like looking around, and they automatically go to you. They don't go both of you. They go to you and go, so what are you looking for? And I was like, wait, mate, maybe she wants to buy something. She didn't. But, just like point out.
She hated me and everything I stood for, but the point still stands.
Anyway, sorry, Julia, carry on.
Well, my cousin, who is like maybe 10 years older than me, I think. He's quite a bit older than me. I always remember going around to see him and my nana and that, and he had Warhammer. He used to paint it. I'm pretty sure he used to play it as well, because I mean he had literally like hundreds of them, and I always kind of remember wanting to like play with them and stuff, and he was very much like, do not touch them.
You do not touch.
Yeah. So that kind of,
do you think this is for kids?
That kind of got me like in the right direction, because I was always like, whoa, this is so cool, and that. And then kind of when I went to, like, not really much more kind of happened from that. And then when I went to university, because I live in the middle of nowhere normally, and then I started to live in a city, I'd walk past the shop every day, and I'd be like, oh my god, like these figurines are like fucking awesome. And obviously being a painter as well, I was just like, I need to kind of get into this. So I only originally got into it for the painting side. I've never actually played it myself, so yeah, I know.
Giulietta, oh my god, this is such a good idea. I'm just spitballing here, right? Because we're getting a free gaming table for Matt's Geek Pride's sort of new sort of headquarters thing. Basically Matt's
garage.
It is for Matt. It's Matt's Prezzies.
Yeah, Matt's garage.
Yep.
Yeah. And we're getting a proper like gaming table with lights and things like that.
Ooh.
When you're in Manchester next, what we'll do is we'll break out some beginners 40k, play a game, record that shit.
Oh,
Boom.
yeah, that'd be awesome. I've always really wanted to learn how to play it.
Yes! Alright! Done. Let's do that. Brill. Yes. I just don't get to play with enough people.
That's all it is.
Do you know what? It's so bad, man. Like, literally, right, this Christmas when I went back, because I've got a gaming club that I go to, but most of my friends are useless, and they're all got like,
wives and families, yeah.
Wives
Well, the thing is,
and
but the thing is, I've got a girlfriend, so I understand. But it's just like, there's a lot of, oh, I can't, man. I've got kids, and I can't do this and stuff. And there's no gaming going on. And it's like, you're all fucking useless. I've got a gaming group, and nobody fucking games. So what I do is, every Christmas, I've got this like thing. Me and my brother have like a long-standing sort of rivalry and stuff when it comes to gaming and things. Always have done. That's what brothers do. And every sort of time I go home, which is like maybe twice a year, I bring some games back with me. I brought an entire suitcase worth of games back with me this Christmas.
Who needs clothes?
Yeah, exactly. Who needs fucking clothes, man? I wear the same T-shirt for a week and I'll just play some games. So I brought back Imperial Assault.
Wait,
I brought back
Matt,
Axis and Lamp.
Matt. This may be why nobody wants to hang out with you. If you've got the same T-shirt on for like a week.
Well, do you know what? No, I'm a very hygienic sort of chap. I've got a massive thing against the geek stank that you get sometimes from when you go into like gaming clubs and stuff like that. It's just like it's really bad. I just feel like you need to have like emergency BO spray for some and stuff like.
Do you always have some Lynx Africa in your bag, Matt? Yeah.
I'm not on Lynx Africa. Oh, at the minute. Thank you very much, David. I'm on that new stuff. The one with the brown and the white labels and things.
Lynx Black.
Lynx Africa. Lynx Africa was the stuff that I had when I was in university when I was a long-haired Viking. I'm a mature man now. I don't go for Lynx Africa.
Do you know I wear Lynx
what about
chocolate?
Lynx chocolate? Yeah, I was going to say nobody's mentioned Lynx chocolate yet.
But yeah, brilliant. We can do that because that'll be a good thing, right? Brill. All right, brilliant. Yeah. Do you think what do you think it is puts women off that sort of gaming in the first place? Men. Is it men? Is it the game itself? Is it the atmosphere when you maybe walk into a shop or into a gaming club?
I don't know. I mean, it's. I don't know. I think it's one of those things where you think that there's not that many women or girls that are interested in it, but you'd be surprised. And also, I would definitely say it's the attitude when you walk in.
But yeah, I think it's true. There is definitely oh my god, there's a girl in here.
The thing is though, it's not in a like, oh my god, it's a girl. It's like, what the fuck? There's a girl in here. Get her out now. Like, what are you doing? Like, Topshop's down there. It's not a nice. Oh, it's a girl. It's a horrible like go away sort of thing.
And I think girls tend to be a lot nicer than men in certain aspects. And I go into my gaming club and stuff. You do get some absolute ring biscuits. They literally are. There's enjoying, and I enjoy. Like, I've embraced my geekiness, and I enjoy a good 40k, and I enjoy the. I always told myself that all those nerds who used to talk about sort of 40k canon and argue about who'd win in a fight, Horus or reboot Guilliman and stuff. Those are freaking nerds. I'm a cooler nerd than that, but I do shit like that now. I've embraced it. I'm all about that now. You're having a good argument about the 40k universe and stuff. But you got those people who bring it that step further, who look down their nose at you and like, you will find out you cannot do that, and they would never do that because blah 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 blah. And you're just like, dude, you're weak. You need to fuck off. And that's, I think, what puts people off, because they're like literally
tell them that.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, this is an imaginary world. I can do what the fuck I want. One of the things that really winds me up is people see. I collect Space Wolves, and my Space Wolves are slightly different coloured to other ones and stuff. So I get it's like, oh, you can't have that. That's not what Space Wolves were. And it's like, they're not fucking Space Wolves in my own chapter. And then I get people who because I've got I converted other guys from different sort of things and put like wolf heads on them and put things like that. You can't do that. And I was like, fuck off. It's an imaginary world. It's not like it's fucking happened, you dicks.
But Matt, that's not exclusive to tabletop gaming. I mean, any sort of pursuit is going to have people like that. I mean, you look at Gamergate, or well, we'll not go into that, but it's going to be in every aspect of geekdom. There is going to be some sort of elitism in some sort of way. So
I think elitism, and we've talked about this before, I think elitism is more rife within geek culture than it is in maybe sort of normal culture. I think in sort of norms, sort of normal people's sort of day-to-day lives, they just, they'll eat McDonald's, they'll listen to pop music, and they don't give a shit. They just they like what they like, and that's it. Whereas in geek culture, if you don't like specific things, if you don't sort of play a certain game, or if you're not using Linux or something like that, then you're literally ridiculed, mocked, and knocked down.
But people are elite about the football team that they support. People are elite about the type of clothes they wear. People are elite about the type of music they listen to. If they're like a DJ, I'm a better DJ. So it's rife everywhere. But I think you're right in a sense. I think it's focused on more that there is a slight elitism in geekdom because of programs like The Big Bang Theory and so on.
To be honest, I saw something. You'd put a picture on Giulietta of the more sort of kind of I can't get around sexy version of the Emperor, the Empress, more of a Sisters of a Battle look picture, and you said, how would you put that on your page? And some guy had basically said, put the power claw and do that. If you don't, I'll stop following your page. And you went, see you later.
Yeah, he called me spineless. He was like, if you do that, then you're spineless, and I'll unfollow you. And it was like, all right, see you then.
So on that point,
for what? For not adding a particular piece to your costume that he was calling you spineless.
No, basically.
In fairness, it was a power claw. Let's be.
No.
To be honest, I don't even think that picture. I'm not even sure if that is actually the Emperor. No, if he was a proper nerdy, I think it's Celestine, I think her name is. But it's that elitism that annoys me. It frustrates me. Does it really matter?
No, not at all.
The Warhammer group I've kind of noticed isn't particularly the nicest, but I actually don't think to say that geeks are supposed to be, like we've Comic-Cons and we found this place where we can all be ourselves and like we can support each other. We're kind of really nasty about it, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot more bullying. I find there's a lot of bullying in geek culture things. I found it on Geek Pride on the Facebook page. I have no doubt you see it quite regularly on your page. People, if they do not agree with you, they can be quite nasty about their views and things. There's no sort of, understanding. I would have thought, and I've mentioned this before, that if you've been brought up in a world where you are the downtrodden and you are the one who got the piss taken out of them and you've been beaten up and life hasn't generally been very good for you when it comes to social aspects, that you would learn to be nicer to people and you'd learn to be more accepting of people. But it seems to be the complete opposite, that there's a lot of them who are so embittered by it that they just want to be a knob.
Yeah, it's their prerogative, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, like with that the Emperor costume, I've got so many people sending me that kind of like sexier version. Now I like the concept of it, but I don't think to me it doesn't look like an Emperor costume or an Empress costume. Yeah. It's nice, but it's not. I don't think it's good enough for the Emperor. So I suggested to everybody, instead of sending me this like photo all the time, I was like, should I maybe do like a female version of the said costume, but I would change it because I just don't feel it's impressive enough. And then obviously that guy saw his arse about it, and it's just like, at the end of the day, like I can understand why some people lose a temper about, especially female cosplayers that just kind of go for sexier options. Because it's not particularly very original, but at the end of the day they can do whatever they want, and sometimes, like I think I actually explained this in that comment that me as a female gamer, when I'm playing a video game, I want to be the super sexualized female character because I want to look badass as fuck and I want to be sexy as fuck. So I don't want to be a 16-stone dude walking around with a gun. I want to be the skinny bimbo that's, hard as nails or whatever.
The thing is, you'll find that there's quite a lot of geek men who'd like to be the skinny ass, awesome sort of big cleavaged hero as well. Because I've been on when I was on what's it called, World of Warcraft. The amount of dudes who had female characters was unbelievable.
Do you know, it's interesting you should mention that because it's like that whole idea of what you identify with, isn't it? It's like in board gaming, I've noticed that a lot of the male players will tend to pick up the male characters, even though it's got no particular difference in terms of skill or strategy or starting special moves or anything. But it's just interesting that that you've mentioned the idea that you, as a female, would prefer to play a sexy female character. When I see so many different things going on, like for example, there was a recently released board game called Conan, It was a Kickstarter from years ago, and it got quite a bit of flack for the fact that it only introduced, I think it was 2 female characters, and they were both heavily sexualized, and they were deemed to be support characters for the men, and the men basically did all the work, and the women were there just to sort of, swoon and be saved and that kind of thing. But they were actually playable characters, and they had strong roles within the game. And I just find it interesting. I think it's the first time I've heard someone go the other way and say, no, I want to play a sexy character. Leave it alone. Don't take that out. Just leave it in. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Even if the arm. Sorry, carry on.
Oh no, go on.
I was just saying, even if the armor is completely impractical and would not deflect arrows.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's not real life, so it doesn't have to be practical. I mean, the amount of people that come up to me and like, "Oh, well, where you you're missing pieces on your armor," and it's just like, "Well, am I in battle right now? No, I'm not. So shut the fuck up."
No, that is a very, very good point, and I think that is completely what's the word? It's not thought about. It's like it's make believe. It's like me paint.
The only thing
it's like me painting my characters and stuff in when I'm playing for Warhammer and stuff, and I change things. It's because I want to. It's because I enjoy it. It's because I like the look of it that way and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be. It's a game. It's make believe. It's something for enjoyment.
The only thing I'd say, kind of contrary to that, without wanting to be the sole person against, is that it depends on the tone of the rest of the game as to how appropriate it is to have like the sexy feminine character kind of thing. So if everything else is straight down the line and quite grimdark, to use a Warhammer term, and like the male version of the character is kind of typically grizzled and so on, and then suddenly there's the female hero who's wearing a chain bikini, it can be quite... It's very difficult to make that match with the rest. So if you've got something like what's it called?
Yeah.
Lollipop Chainsaw?
Yes.
Is that the like that the entire tone of that is so ridiculous and over the top that it doesn't matter that the main character is like a scantily clad cheerleader because her boyfriend is a disembodied head who she uses as a weapon. It sort of it doesn't matter
goals.
as much. But if you yeah. But if you put the same character into, say, BioShock, it would look very egregious that you've got the world of Rapture, and then there's a blonde bimbo with a chainsaw who's not wearing very little. So that's the only thing I'd say about that. Is it's about tone as much as
But then you could
else.
argue that if you had a Conan game, the guy's wearing a loincloth, so it's all right for her to be sort of wearing a loincloth and top whatever bikini thing.
As long as she's jacked as well, I want her to look like
Sans on the birdhole.
then it makes sense.
Oh man, what is it? Somebody sent me a GIF of it was Ali actually. He sent me a GIF of Conan, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Conan, and it was him sort of kind of striking a pose with his muscles out, and then a hand coming out of his penis and striking the same
punching a camel or something.
It was so ridiculous. It was so ridiculous, but it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant.
No, I think there needs to be a balance because I will only really agree with a sexy female character if she's overpowered, she can handle herself, and her actual costume isn't skanky. It actually looks decent. And for instance, like my next costume that I'm hoping to make is Red Sonja. Now, a lot of girls just go for the basic, metal chain like bikini. I don't want to go that route at all.
Ooh, interesting.
I want to go like still sexy, but a little bit more covered up. So like the fur cape. I want to add some like barbarian armor, so she's got big shoulder guards and like arm guards, and just I'm gonna literally throw armor at her, but still kind of keep it within it. Because I've seen, like, no disrespect to those cosplayers, but I've seen some where they're just so skimpy that it just ruins it to me. It's just like, if you just wore a little bit more, it would have actually looked like really good, but because you went for like the over sexualized option, to me it just doesn't work.
Do you think that the Emperor cosplay you did, was that something maybe to prove that you didn't have to do it? Doesn't have to be sexy. It just has to be enjoyable. It's just something you want to do.
I suppose it could be seen like that, and like maybe a tiny percentage it was. But I saw the Emperor. I saw a fan art of the Emperor's armor, and I just fell in love with it. And I was just like, I don't even give a shit. Like, I'm doing this, so get out of my way and shut up.
Do you know what you could do? You could do the Emperor as he is now in the 31st millennium, and get yourself a wheelchair and a skull. And
I think that'd be really good for Halloween, don't you think?
Yeah. This
and sit really still, and then when people like kind of walk past you, you scare them.
Yeah, and then sacrifice psychers, just to make sure that he's alive. But he's going to come back. I've got a feeling he's coming back. Emperor's coming back.
What, as the Star Child?
Don't know.
Is he going to come back
That's
as the Star
See,
Child?
The thing is, when they're bringing back all the Primarchs gradually. I think the rumor is that Gilliman's going to be the next guy coming back, though it should be Russ. But the Gilliman's going to be back, and then they're going to slowly go through them, ramp it up, and then because they're not going to revamp it as much as they did with Warhammer Fantasy and Age of Sigmar, but they're going to bring a new lease of life to it. I think add some new rules, maybe streamline some stuff, and I think with that they might bring back the Emperor. And do you know what? I cannot freaking wait for them to bring out Forge World to bring out the Horus versus Emperor model with Sanguinius like dead on the ground. That old school, like kind of like that old school one they had.
The old school, yeah, I remember the old school.
Obviously
one,
not that
White Dwarf.
that shit, because looking at them now, the models now they're not as it's not as good. But that sort of similar sort of vibe, that I will pay hundreds of pounds for that shit. I will pay Forge World prices for that. Don't care.
There you are. You've heard it, Forge World. You've heard it here.
Or I'll just get the Chinese knockoff. That's right.
It'd be like Shorus versus Emprina with Blood
And
Guy.
Pokemon.
But anyway, it's weird, isn't it? Like Blood Angels, space vampires, space wolves, space werewolves. It's just.
It's true. They're the good guys.
Yeah, and I've got a new book, the new Horus Heresy book, Masters of Mankind, and it's about the Emperor and the web. When obviously Magnus sort of breaks the psychic wards to the Imperial Palace to try and warn him of Horus's betrayal, and destroys all the stuff on the Webway project, and then basically. He gets sort of that's why Russ goes after him and blah blah blah. But it's about the war within the Webway. There's apparently with the Custodes and stuff. Yep. But apparently the Emperor's a bit of a dick, from what I've been told.
Really?
Really? From what I've been told, this is why I bought the book, because the guy was talking about it when I was in the shop, and he was just like, "Yeah, there's." The custodian. It's in the view of the different things, people who've talked to the Emperor, and they're allowed the Custodes, unlike any of the other Primarchs, they're allowed to challenge him. They're allowed to question his views and stuff, and it's from their point of view and stuff. And he says stuff to them. Apparently, doesn't he's just. I think one of the lines is something like, it's about the Primarchs. And why do you let them call you father? And he says, well, what does a puppet call his master, or something along those lines? And it's just like, it's like, ooh, wow, different view on the Emperor, brill. So
How weird! The man who single-handedly forged together humanity, then went out and conquered the galaxy on the basis that humanity was the only legitimate race in the galaxy, and everything else was scum that should be destroyed. It's a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
What a big
you
surprise.
sort of kind of knocked that shit under the carpet there, Sean, because you don't want to think about the genocide and all that other stuff. You also got to think about it. This is degrading into a 40k podcast, but you got to think about it. He was all against no psychic powers. You're not allowed to have psychic powers. There's the Nikea. Oh, was it nice?
Council of Nicaea.
Yeah. You're not allowed to have psychic powers. You're bad, and get rid of all the librarians and stuff. And then he says, "There's no gods. There is no gods." And then there turns out there is gods, and that psychers are needed, and everybody uses them now, and everybody worships them and stuff. And it's just like, fuck. Yeah. But there you go. Anyway, so Swift.
The Emperor's so the person that you put a lot of effort into cosplaying as, Giulietta, who you look so good as.
Bit of a douche.
Yeah, maybe next time go for someone who's a little more friendly, like Khan Betrayer.
Yeah. Do you know what I like? Okay, we're going to keep going back to this. I quite like about the Horus. It's the grey nature of everybody within it. A lot of the legions that sort of turned to chaos did out of betrayal to them. They were betrayed themselves, or something happened and they had to go that way. And I like that. I like that sort of kind of grey area. It's not because they were all dicks and they were all bad guys. It's just that they had no other option, and I kind of like that.
There's quite a few who did have an option though, like the Emperor's children, who are just like, you know what, drugs and sex are great. I'm talking
more about the I'm talking about the Thousand Sons and stuff, because the Thousand Sons, they were betrayed by Horus basically. Obviously Magnus did himself a mischief, didn't he? Because he was consorting with Chaos Gods ages before he to try and get powers, but then obviously pissing around with his dad sort of kind of wards and webway portal and stuff kind of put him in the bad books, and then Horus just threw him under the bus, and they went, oh well, you've got a broken back now and all your sons are getting killed, you might as well join Chaos. And he went, fuck, all right, fine. And I like the Alpha Legion stuff. I like the fact that they have potentially joined Chaos because it was for the greater good. It wasn't the Cabal tells them that they've got two futures. They've got a future with unending war, or a future where chaos will die out eventually. And that's if Horus wins, chaos will eventually die out. Whereas if the Imperium wins, it will just be war after war after war. And they sided with Horus not because of their disloyalty to the Emperor, was because it was defeating chaos from within, effectively.
Matt, have you heard there's the theory though that they've actually always been loyal and still are loyal to this day?
Well, yeah, that's
and the entire not that they turned against the Emperor to let Horus win, like that, all that stuff that's suggested there. There's another theory that says that the Emperor told them to turn to chaos, and they've been turned to chaos for all of this time, whilst the Emperor rebuilt himself because he knew he had to die to rebuild himself. And that the reason that all of the Black Crusades have failed is because of the Alpha Legion sabotaging it from the inside.
That could be a good point.
So that's a theory that
there's also one that Omegon, there's Alfarius and Omegon. Omegon's actually was the first one of the first sort of Lord Commanders of the Grey Knights. So and I think that's quite a good one. Quite a good theory. Anyway,
let's not go too far into that. Yes,
right.
Literally could talk about that for podcasts and podcasts.
Yes, we could.
You need to get the 40k theories guy, if you ever do one.
Yeah. There's loads of them though. There's a couple I listen to. I find myself, this is how bad I am. I sit there when I'm sort of starting out my man cave or building models and stuff, and I just watch and listen to all these theories and going, ooh, interesting, ooh. But you know what annoys me about them sometimes? Some of them are blatantly just reading off a wiki from somewhere.
Reddit, yeah.
It's like, I totally made this shit up myself. No, you're not. You're just reading off a wiki, aren't you? But I'm still going to listen to you.
Before we move on, a very quick shout out for one of my favourite YouTube series channels. It's called If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device. And it's absolutely incredible. It starts out with that basic premise of if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device, and it turns into all of the Primarchs returning and all of the ancient, theories and lore about all of the different races and all that. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So I recommend that highly.
Cool. Okay, so let's move on then. We've got about 20 minutes left. Best and worst of 2016. Because we were meant to do that in the last podcast, but we spent most of the time talking about Rogue One. So let's go. So, G-Zizzle, what did you like? What did you dislike about 2016?
Oh, can I go last?
Oh, okay. Sean, there you go.
Okay, so I'm going to go for one thing I liked about 2016, or one thing that I liked that came out in 2016, and just one thing that I didn't like about 2016. Okay. So the thing that came out that I absolutely loved about 2016, thing that I'll always kind of shout about, is Season 3 of BoJack Horseman.
Do you know what? You've said that loads, man. I've never watched it. It's sort of one of these things. Do you know what? I've had the fear, because it's like, if I watch this and I don't like it, then one, I'll just never be able to trust Sean again, and two, it's like, I've wasted all that time by watching something I don't enjoy. So, it's just like...
So BoJack Horseman is amazing. It's the best thing that's being made at the moment.
Better than Rick and Morty?
It's absolutely... better than Rick and Morty, absolutely better than Rick and Morty. Seriously, I think it is the best thing that is being made at the moment. Now, if you start it, the first episode or two can be a little slow, but by the time you finish the first series, the first episode or two fit together well and make a lot of sense. But the third series of that show is absolutely incredible. It deals with incredibly complex and dark matters, such as inevitable failure, self-defeat, abortion. It deals with these incredibly deep and heavy emotions and themes, whilst also being incredibly silly and wonderful, and having background jokes like in Naked Gun and Airplane, for example. We always have those little background jokes. BoJack Horseman has those all the time. It's just beautiful and wonderful, and so always will recommend because it comes out basically every year. So every year, the best thing about the year is BoJack Horseman. So that's my thing of 2016. The thing that I hated in 2016, the thing that I wish would go away in 2016, I'm going to kind of typify as the reaction to the fact that Tracer of Overwatch is a lesbian, and the incredible reaction against that of people essentially saying it's a political statement to have someone who's not straight. I know.
I don't get, man. It's like, why does shit like that bother people? Why does it have to have an ulterior motive? I'm a pretty straight down the line guy, as you know, and I get myself into trouble sometimes because I don't think about it in I don't put subtext into a lot of things, but it's just shit like that. It's like, what the fuck? Who cares?
Like, what would it have changed a single thing about Overwatch if literally every character was gay? Like, if they were all gay, would it have made Tracer any less of a great support character? Would it have changed anything about that game in the slightest?
No. Not a bean. In fact, the story bears very little actual. You end up with people like Genji fighting against Zenyatta, and that shouldn't happen, but it does because it's just a game. So.
Yeah. And it's so that's my thing of 2016 that I didn't like, was strange and entitled gamer reactions. Well, let's be honest, straight male gamer reactions to even slight variants from the most vanilla and basic of characters.
It kind of typifies 2016 as a whole, doesn't it? The alt-right movement and the boycott Star Wars movement that we talked about before, and it's just typifying where it seems to be now. Maybe people who would have had those opinions would have potentially kept them to themselves, but now it's, they feel free, whether or not it's the release, that they can just basically say whatever they want and get away with it, essentially. And it's just, I don't know, just 2016 as a whole is just, everyone has an opinion and they just want to get it out there no matter what, just to be controversial.
Yeah, I mean, I think to a certain extent that's always been there. You can see that from, we mentioned briefly, Gamergate. Gamergate is like 3 or 4 years old now, which shows, again, how pathetic it is that people still identify as part of it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely gotten, I think, a little worse in 2016, thanks to the alt-right.
The alt-right, did you say?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Very apt.
Right,
very
good,
apt.
Very good.
And so that's my best and worst of 2016. So watch BoJack Horseman and stop it. Just stop it.
Okay, Dave, what about you?
I've got a few, but
Of course you have.
tell you what I'll do. Well, I have to mention Stranger Things. I know it's obviously everyone knows about it, everyone loves it, but for me it was something that kind of caught me off guard during the year. It was a show that came out of left field. No one knew what to expect, and as soon as I saw even the first episode and heard the theme tune come on, I knew it was going to be my type of show. It's that mixture of 80s, the 80s sort of culture that's really come to 80s retro culture that's come to the fore, but the sort of mixture of John Carpenter's fantastic output of the 1980s mixed with aspects of comedy, aspects of of horror, of sci-fi. It was just a fantastic show. But in terms of my special subject, should I say, in terms of movies, I'll go for my best and my worst of the year. Honorable mentions, like I love Civil War, I love The Neon Demon, I love Sing Street, Arrival. But for me, I know this is going to be a controversial one, but it was The Witch. It's my favorite film of 2016. I love satanic horror films. I adore satanic horror films. Anyone who knows me knows my love of bad, of B movies and strange horror films. But I love satanic horror films like Rosemary's Baby and Race with the Devil and The Church and Devil Rides Out and so on. So any movie that has that sort of dark, evocative, sinister overtones of satanic horror, I just immediately drawn to. I just love the overall feel of the movie. I love the fact that it's a gritty, dirty horror film, but it's more about suspense rather than pure horror. There's no gore. It's more about it's a mood film. It's just you would think it is at its very nature a very low budget experimental film, but I just was drawn to it. The fact that they purposely keep it in the old and sort of pilgrim language and so on. The tone, I absolutely loved it. I
think Giulietta might disagree with you there.
Well, I just wanted to ask, what do you think of The Woman in Black, if you like horror films?
What did I think of the Daniel Radcliffe Woman in Black? It was funny. It was enjoyable. I went to the cinema to see it. It was enjoyable enough. It was just like a, return to the sort of jumpy ghost ghost story movie that had gone away for a decade or so. But it was nothing really to write home about. It was just an enjoyable, funny, jumpy horror film.
Okay.
Why?
Oh, I'm so unimpressed.
I'm so
No, it's just because I hated
I am judging you.
The Witch. I don't even think I actually finished it because I just thought it was so crap. And
what did you think was crap about it?
I think probably because up to where I kind of stopped watching it, nothing happened, and I was just like, oh my god, why is nothing happening? Because you know how you said that you're quite into your satanic things like that, which also you should probably watch The Nymph Gate if you haven't seen it. You probably have. Okay.
Yes. Yes, I have.
I was gonna say you probably have already. But yeah, I really like the ghost side of things. Hate Paranormal Activity. Don't even get me started on that. Don't want to talk about them. It's so shit.
Yes.
Anybody who's afraid of them, don't even talk to me. But the Woman in Black, absolutely loved it. But I didn't necessarily find it scary. I'll admit, I find clowns very scary, and the clown doll in it, I can't look at it because it's that horrible. But that was one of the only kind of horror films apart from Dorian Gray, when I watched it like back when I was very little, and that scared the crap out of me. But yeah, that was the only film that I actually enjoyed as a horror film, because I like horror films, but it's hard to find decent ones.
I'm a bit of
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm a bit of a pussy when it comes to horror films. I enjoy them, but I get nightmares, so I don't watch them very
often.
If I can tell a quick story about seeing The Woman in Black in the cinema, I went. It was like a Saturday matinee, and I went, I think, by myself, and there was myself, a couple of other people, and there was a row of Chinese schoolgirls sitting a couple of rows behind me. Did this
actually happen, Dave, or is this
no, this actually happened. And the funniest part about actually seeing it, it was enjoyable enough. Some of the jump scares were pretty decent. I enjoyed it, but the funniest part of it was the girls. Anytime that Daniel Radcliffe would pick up a letter, that he would find letters lying around the old house, and he would pick them up, and the sort of the monologue would come on and actually read out what the letter contained. And the girls were actually reading it out in a really broad Chinese accent, reading out the internal monologue of the letter. And there was like a bit where it was like a really prolonged jump scare, and they were building it up, and you knew it was coming. And just before the music came on, and just before the actual jump happened, one of the girls behind screamed at the top of her voice, "Harry Potter, don't go in there, Harry Potter!" And everyone in the cinema just fell about. Took us totally out of the mood of the movie, but it was actually probably the funniest part about being in the cinema.
Amazing.
It was great.
All right.
Oh, and worst. Sorry, Independence Day Resurgence, absolute crap.
Do you know what?
Pissed all over pissed over the original movie and Suicide Squad, but don't get me started on that.
Really? I didn't mind Suicide Squad.
Oh, Matt, come on.
I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it
fucking
was
terrible.
Yeah, I thought it was an
average
average
it wasn't
film.
shit. It wasn't. It was just all right. It was just sort of, you could sit back, watch it. It didn't come out and go, "Wow, it's the best thing ever," but it didn't come out going, "That was bollocks." It was all right.
Yeah, but what did you think to the Joker?
I feel like people have forgotten.
He didn't get enough screen time, I don't think. But it
good.
Didn't offend me. It didn't sort of.
No, the Joker didn't tell a joke. And that annoyed the hell out of me. Didn't tell a single joke throughout the whole
Joker
film.
was an entitled rich kid. The Joker was someone you can imagine, like one of Donald Trump's kids.
Like going to his mum's makeup.
Later on in life. You can imagine later on in life, just getting a bit pissed off. Daddy's taking away his credit card, and he just got really pissed off, and he decides he's gonna turn to crime and drive around his expensive sports car, and it's fucking Jared Leto. Oh, piss off.
Yeah, I agree with you. To be honest, though, they've taken I think a relatively good-looking guy and then made him ugly, and it's just like, why would you do that? They're so embarrassing, watching him. I'm kind of glad that he didn't have that much screen time, because I was just like, no. The only reason why I'm only remotely okay with him is the fact that Margot Robbie, you've got to think realistically, Margot Robbie being as hot as she is, and I don't even swing that way. But I would if she offered.
Well, we've all got our person who we go gay for.
Yeah.
Totally Sean Bean, totally would.
Ryan Reynolds.
Sean Bean's
Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yeah.
He's my man.
Sean Bean would probably die before you get it.
Look into his eyes.
Or die during battle.
And you'd cry.
That's just how good
Take
you are,
my
Matt.
seed.
And you would cry.
Well, I generally do cry during sex. So.
I was about to say, yeah, that's what Matt does all the time.
I'd apologise.
This is getting really dark. All right.
/ accurate.
Yes. Okay, so Bevan XCOM, what about you?
Well, 2016 was a very scary year, but there were some good points. For me, my top thing was the UK Games Expo. Surprise, surprise, board games. It moved to its new venue last year, and it just got bigger and bigger. They had hundreds of rooms basically in the Birmingham Expo Centre, and we were lucky to be one of the stalls because they'd introduced a new system where you could get a cheap stall if you were a starter. And it was just amazing seeing all these new companies coming out, all these old companies with brand new stuff, and the excitement and the giggling and running around getting bargains and playing lots of different games and just meeting friends and things. It was amazing, and it just keeps going from strength to strength. And in a wider note, it just sort of shows the growth of the industry within the UK itself, how it is becoming a more family, more accepted thing to be a bit of a geeky board gamer. So yeah, that was my highlight.
For all you who don't know, our own Bevan, XCOM Clatworthy, has his own game. It has been kickstarted, it has been funded, and apparently people are getting boxes at this moment in time, but Matt hasn't had his box yet.
Congrats, dude. Congrats.
Matt's not had his game yet. What's going on?
What's the game? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
It's called
What's in the
it's
box?
called Ghost Tale.
Have you ever listened to that scene without? Sorry to interject there. But have you ever listened to that scene without the actual movie bit going on? And Brad Pitt just sounds totally unconvincing. He's terrible.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
It's just like, really, mate?
But the thing is, like anything, there's all those videos where you have like David Bowie and Mick Jagger, you know.
Oh, dancing in the streets without the music. Oh, that's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
The best one. The best one is the Bee Gees "Staying Alive" and the train. The video for "Staying Alive" in the train station, and it's just them walking along. Only hears the clipping of their feet, and then every once in a while it's just a.
Amazing.
Incredible.
I've got to say, YouTube memes have really become bizarre and interesting, and they sort of took over quite a bit towards the end of 2016 because. I think everyone will have heard of the B-movie memes.
Yes.
Like B-movie, but every time they say the word B, it gets quicker. There was Never Gonna Give You Up, but every time he says never, it gets quicker, which is just incredible.
Or the Star Wars one with every time there was a blaster fired, it got faster.
Yeah, exactly. We are number one, but every number one is replaced with something. It's incredible. It's just very weird. Just want to mention the fact that YouTube memes seem to have become this big thing in the last kind of 4 or 5 months, and it's really bizarre and interesting.
So, Bevan, what's been bad then?
What's been bad this year? I think, for me personally, it was receiving a Kickstarter for the Mega Man board game from Jasco Games. Now, I've been waiting for this particular one for absolutely yonks. I think it was 2 years ago when I first backed it. And I went in and got, everything, all the miniatures and all the extra cards and expansions. And it turned up on my door, and I got really excited to open it and have a quick look inside. And I went through the rules, and I went, okay. So I went and watched a couple of videos, and I went, oh, no. And then, read a few reviews, and I've not played it. I've just put it back on the shelf. In fact, the most fun I've had with it was taking all of the things outside of their plastic bags and then giving them to my daughter so she could put them in the little stands, and she loves it. There's one in there called Yellow Devil who's he's about 3 inches tall compared to the other miniatures who are like an inch, and she's just running around with Yellow Devil going bang, Yellow Devil, bang. It was brilliant.
As much as I love Kickstarter is amazing, and I've got a bit of an addiction to it. Not as much as one of the guys. Who has been on this podcast years ago, called Paul Gibson and stuff. He used to do stuff for us, Geek Pride. He kickstarts on everything. Like, he is back. He's got to the point where they've invited him to Kickstarter dinners because he's like a VIP, like a special person. So pretty much saying, you spent a shitload of money on Kickstarter. Here's some free booze on us. Aww. And I love Kickstarter, but it's so infuriating when you get ones that take ages and they things go wrong all the time, and it's things they could have easily sort of thought about at the start, and it's just like my 25th anniversary Hero Quest.
No, don't start this. Don't pick this wound again.
It's gonna be 28. That's gonna be fucking 29 years now. 28 years, sorry. By the time I get it, apparently it's gonna come out in March this year. And I'm just like, yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. It's been 3 years, motherfuckers.
On the plus side, though, I'm going to get my Dark Souls board game by April, I think.
That's it's created by the guys. They were based. The guy who wrote Element Games, the gaming club I go to. the guy who runs it, a guy called Byron. He's a part of that. What's the name of the company? Something
Steamforged, I think.
Steamforged, that's it. Yeah,
Steamforged.
They're based in Stockport.
Have they given you any sort of ideas of what the game's going to be? Is it going to be like, you play it for a couple of seconds and then some randomer runs in and stands on your pieces and you're trying to says you've died.
What's going to be? Is it going to be like kind of like Kingdom Death, where it's literally just an unforgiving game?
It's supposed to be, the way they've designed it is that it's difficult but achievable. So, the way, as I understand it, it will be is you will set up a kind of dungeon which can be done randomly or predetermined, and then you're supposed to do a certain number of things to unlock a boss, and then you have to fight the boss. And the bosses each have like these beautiful, wonderful, I say miniatures, because some of them are just like mediumatures, because they're huge.
Pop figures,
Maxitures.
I just don't do game. If you don't get
figures.
miniatures, I just tend to be not interested.
But the thing is, they've split it out into 2 deliveries because they realised they just couldn't do everything.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of fine. So the base game is coming in the kind of March, April, and then the rest comes with like all of the expansion packs they've decided to create with the extra money. So I'm going to get the base game, and that'll be fun. And then a few months later, I'll get the expansion pack so we can have invaders, and we can have extra areas and extra bosses.
They
and
did
extra
so well with that. It's just
things
that
to fight.
game. They did Guild Ball as well, which is basically it's a variation on Blood Bowl, but it's instead of squares, it's sort of measuring, and it's sort of similar to that. But the idea of just going, or even just having the stones to go up to the company, I can't remember the name of the company made
From Software,
and saying, hey, well, we want to make a board game of this. All right, fine. And then it made like £1 million in its first day or something.
it made 4 million overall.
It's just like,
amazing.
my fucking God.
But From Software are the type of company you can imagine actually doing that, because they are a very small company and a very dedicated company, and if they realize someone's going to do something worthwhile with one of their products, that I can imagine them allowing them to, unlike someone like EA or Capcom or one of those sort of guys, who'd probably just say fuck off if a smaller company approached them.
Well, I think that might have been part of the problem with the Mega Man game, was that the sort of development process became ridiculous because they had to send every single mini they designed, every single card they did, every single box art had to be
for authorization.
Yeah, they had to wait for sometimes weeks or months at a time for I think it's Capcom own the original rights.
Yeah, it's Capcom.
To send back and say, we're happy with this. Oh no, this shade of blue is ever so slightly off cyan. We need you to tweak it a little bit, or he's not running quite as we would imagine him. Could you, and they're so super protective, these big companies, of their IP, that they need perfection. And I honestly think some of it is a little bit of kind of throwing your weight around a little bit and letting people know, we're the big dogs kind of thing. But no, From Software sound like good chaps and chapettes.
So Matt, what's your best thing?
We haven't asked Giulietta yet.
Giulietta has to go last.
I'm last, so.
And I already know what your best thing of 2016 is.
Rogue One is the best thing.
You can't pick Rogue One.
Okay. As much as that is one of the best things, it was awesome, really best thing. I'm going to go for San Diego Comic-Con. For me, was an amazing experience. It was just, it's like the convention itself wasn't hugely different than ones you get over here, maybe slightly bigger, maybe on par with maybe the London one, maybe slightly bigger, more sort of displays, and obviously shitloads more famous people. Like me and my brother bumped into Justin Timberlake, just sort of like walking down.
No way.
Literally.
I'm already fucking jealous of you right now. I hate you. I hate you.
We were sitting there, we were walking, we were there for, 5 days with the guys from Sneaky Zebra, and they went off to do their thing, and because we didn't, I'd had my press pass, my brother didn't have one, and the 2 guys I was with they weren't interested. They were just going to go around, so we just wandered around outside for 2 days, and just saw it, because the whole of San Diego is taken over by it. The shops and the pubs. There's the pub we went to. They have their own themes, and they're giving out freebies, and they embrace it. The whole city seems to embrace the Comic-Con, and like it was just amazing. Just the whole vibe. You know, going into the convention itself. When I went in, like I said, it wasn't any different. I bought a shitload of toys because you know it was cheaper than it was over here, and I had to. But it wasn't massively different. But just the whole thing in general, as in outside and the different areas you could go. You could enjoy San Diego Comic-Con without actually going into San Diego Comic-Con. There's that much going on outside. Like I've been told, like Tonker said to me, it's like, oh, you know, you'll be able to do stuff outside. It's like, no, I've seen that in MCM. There's a few screens and stuff, but it's not. It's the whole area. There's just like miles and miles of stuff you can do. And like I said, we were just walking around the back of the convention, taking photographs of some cosplayers and things like that. And then literally Justin Timberlake bumped into him. He was just there.
His number?
And it was just like, I was sitting there. My brother was just like, "That's Justin Timberlake." And I was just like, "Yeah, I should totally be taking a photograph right now." But I'm frozen to the spot with like, you know, I've got a camera in my hand and I've got a phone in my hand, and I'm not taking any photographs. And he's walking past us and he's walking away, and my brother took a few snaps. I think there was, who else was it? Leah Kendrick. Was she there? I can't remember. There was somebody else as well. There was a couple.
Anna Kendrick, you mean?
Anna Kendrick. Sorry, yes, Anna Kendrick. And there was also the guy who plays the new Flash in the Justice League. He was dressed up. Dressed up as, and we only found out about this later. But we were walking towards the Fox area in it was sort of near the Hilton Hotel, and we were sort of walking towards there. And there was a guy dressed as Gandalf. But it wasn't a great cosplay. So it's like, nah. I was like, should we take a photograph? Nah, he's not very good. We'll not bother. You know. And it was just sort of kind of wandering away, and we both sort of kind of looked back at him and went, nah, shit, caution. Just walked on. And then later on, we saw on the screen this guy walking on to like Hall H. Is it? There was the main one. Hall
H.
And he walks on with the rest of the Justice League dressed as Gandalf, and it's the fucking guy, same costume. It was the guy who's playing Flash. Can't remember his name. He's playing the new Flash, and I was like, fuck, because they do that. They dress up in costumes and walk around the convention and stuff.
Like the year that Bryan Cranston put on a Bryan Cranston mask and walked around the convention.
Yeah, and it's brilliant. Like it's super busy. There's loads of people. It was really warm that year we were there, but I got super drunk. It was amazing.
It
was great.
What was that we were saying about the Polish?
Well, you know what? I don't drink very often, but when I do drink, I drink big. And I literally, we were there, so we were like 4 or 5 days in San Diego and 5 days in Vegas, and I don't think I was sober for one of them. And there was one of the days where the guys from Sneaky Zebra, which was really awesome of them, they got us into their 3 Black Dot party, which is the company that they are under for their YouTube videos. They got us into the party, and it was free booze.
Oh my god.
Never felt so ill in my entire life. Literally the next day was complete write-off. Had a massive American breakfast with pancakes and shit, and I was just like, yeah, this is quality. It's so good. Such an amazing time. Really enjoyed it. Was gutted to leave. I actually was, as much as we were going to Vegas later, and I really wanted them. Vegas is a complete other kettle of fish. It's mind-blowing as well. But I was sad to go because San Diego was really good. It was really good.
So, San Diego was wonderful. What was
2016 has been a bit of a clusterfuck. And I know sort of everybody says that, you know, oh, there's so many people have died this year, and they have, but I don't, you know, there's an argument that there hasn't really been that any more than usual. It's just that social media has been on it a bit more this year than usual. For me, it is just the political side of things. I'll not go into it, but all the political happenings that we've talked about before, Trump, Brexit, stuff like
Geek.
It just fucking, yeah, just sort of, you know, all of it has just fucked me up. Like, it's just been horrible. I've never felt so depressed about society in my entire life as I have this year. And, yeah. So that was grim. So yeah, G Zizzle, what about yourself?
Well, I'm going to start with the bad and then end with the good.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah.
Okay,
So-
that's good. I like it.
So probably one of the worst things. Now, obviously, as a whole, all the celebrities that have passed away in 2016 has been pretty terrible. But I think the one that affected me the most, not just because of who she was, but because it was a bit like, oh, she's gonna get better, and then she didn't, and then it was like, nope, we've lost her, was Carrie Fisher. And I mean, a lot of people would agree that it was quite a big loss, but I think it affected me more in the sense that I thought she was going to make it and then she didn't.
Do you know what? That actually did upset me more than I thought it would. Like, I was talking to my housemate about it, and it's like, you know, you grew up with Star Wars, and Carrie Fisher's a big part of that, and obviously the new film's been out recently, so she's on your mind and stuff. But apart from that, you know, she's in what other
The
films?
Burbs.
She's in The Burbs. She's in Blues Brothers briefly. She's in what's the one with Rick Mail as the imaginary
Drop Dead Fred.
friend? She's in Drop Dead Fred.
Drop Dead Fred.
So she's
yeah.
not in,
She's briefly in
Yeah,
Jane
as a
Silent
nun.
Bob
yeah,
Strikes
as a
Back
nun,
as well,
as a
isn't
nun,
she?
as a nun. Yeah, so not
Yeah.
major and stuff, and you know, it's not like I've talked about her loads over the years and stuff. It's not like she's been a big thing, but when she did die, like Giulietta said, when we thought, oh, there's something wrong with her, and then she was getting better, and then suddenly she's dead. It did actually affect me more than any of the other celebrities who have died this year. That affected me more, as in it actually made me feel pretty sad, to the point not of tears, but it made me feel pretty bad, and I couldn't understand why out of all the other ones there was a lot of people this year who've enjoyed their music or have enjoyed their acting, and they've died, and it didn't really affect me as much, but Carrie Fisher did, and I wasn't sure why.
So I'm a cold, heartless robot, and I don't feel human emotions. But from social media and so on, Giulietta, I saw a lot of my female friends were particularly affected by Carrie Fisher's death because of what she meant to them as a child, kind of the first princess who had a gun, kind of thing. Was that the sort of connection that you felt with Carrie Fisher as well?
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember, oh god, I can't even remember how old I was. It was back in the day when you used to, like, you know, play with like little figurines with boxes and stuff. I suppose we still do that anyway, but
So you mean yesterday for Matt?
He's doing it right now.
But yeah, who told you? No, yeah, I remember back when I got my Star Wars box set. I don't know if anybody got it with it kind of slid off to the side and it had Darth Vader's mask on and it was gold.
Yes.
Yeah, I have
the
the
widescreen
version.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can remember, like, I got that for Christmas, and as soon as I kind of watched the Star Wars, like, videos, she was definitely, along with Xena, she was definitely one of my role models growing up.
Those are two excellent role models, Princess Leia and Xena. That's fantastic. So that was your worst thing of 2016 then, and that was obviously a terrible thing all around with all the people that died. Starting off with, was it
Yeah, he was
Lemmy?
like Boxing Day the
when he
year
was 15,
before.
though,
Yeah,
didn't he?
Who
yeah, it was
when?
Boxing Day. Yeah.
Was it
His
Boxing
birthday.
Day, right? Okay, well, but starting off from there, everything kind of went downhill, unfortunately. But it wasn't all bad. So, what was your favourite thing then, Giulietta?
I would have to say
Rogue One.
I've not seen it yet.
What? What? Oh my god! Really?
If you'd said that before the podcast started,
Yeah.
well done for keeping that.
What? Giulietta, what? Come on,
I'm like
man.
I like to sit back and send people in first and let them do the recon like mission, and if it's shit then I won't watch it, and if it's really good then I will. So I'm kind
Well,
of
it's the best Star Wars film you're ever going to watch. So go and watch it.
Okay.
Like 3 times.
I haven't seen it yet.
okay. I'll
either.
definitely do that.
Just throwing that
Well
in
then,
there.
at least I don't feel so bad now.
Do I have Geek Pride tenure?
There's
I've been here a
dozens of
while.
us, literally dozens.
Yeah, Bevan can't be good tonight, unfortunately.
I think I should swear or something right now, but that's just I don't know. I'm not that impolite. Yeah.
Bollocks. Shit.
Vagina boo.
Brilliant.
Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
Okay, yeah, probably not that important, but I would say Alien Isolation and Outlast. I've only just recently completed Outlast. I was very late to the game on that one. Loved it, and I absolutely loved Alien
Incredible
Isolation.
game. Absolutely incredible.
Those are the sort of games I can't play games like that because I get really sort of, oh my god. I can't,
Honestly,
I freak
there's
out.
nothing better than hiding in a cupboard for the best part of 20 minutes trying to make a move. When it's coming past, you stick your head out and you go, fuck no, back in again. And honestly,
I'll set up base in here.
I
This
had
just
to play
sounds like
that
my
game
childhood,
in stages,
so...
literally in stages, because it was just so tense. And I'm a massive fan of Alien as a franchise, and it was just so engrossing. Couldn't agree more.
Sean, did you just say that was your childhood? I just got off the back. Seriously.
Yeah,
You're-
I
For some
did.
reason,
Hiding in a cupboard?
this is a little bit inside baseball, but your mic's coming in quite quiet. So to my ears, it sounds like the guy at the back of the thing heckling everybody else.
Boom!
That's a dark
Get off
time.
the stage!
He's in the cupboard now.
Brilliant.
No, I like.
So Outlast and Alien
Yeah,
Isolation.
did anybody
then.
play Outlast? Have they? Yes.
No,
No.
unfortunately,
No, not
I
really.
was very late to the PS4 thing. I only got one this year, and Overwatch, every time I try and take it out of the slot, it starts biting me, so I have to put it back in.
Yeah.
Is it just a PlayStation 4 game?
Isn't that a PC game?
I've got it for Xbox.
Oh, that's okay because you're a cool
Oh,
person.
piss off,
who's got an Xbox.
Ah, what?
PlayStation
I
rules.
have
You know what?
both, okay, so.
I know. I'm not. There's no difference. I'm just preferring.
Although I have noticed the PS4 controllers aren't as
There is a
strong as
difference.
the old PS3 or PS2 ones.
Really?
Yeah, I've cracked
Oh
them
man,
already.
no. I mean, that's the reason why I didn't get a PS3
Rage
because the PS3
quitting.
was like the flimsiest piece of plastic. I mean, after having the DualShock 2, the PS3 version, the DualShock was just woeful. Whereas I think the PS4 DualShock is fantastic. It's well weighted. It actually combines the best part of the DualShock and the Xbox 360 controller. Oh, that's awesome.
See, mine's being held together with penguin gaffer tape at the
Ah, right. Penguin.
And
That's
every
good.
so often, one of my specials will just go off on its own, off the R2 button. I'll be like, oh, okay, I didn't mean to throw that there, but you know, cool.
Well, Bev, Dave's drum kit used to be held together with gaffer tape, so yeah.
Oh, it did, yeah. It did.
When Dave was our drummer back in the day, he literally
I had no money.
His drum skins were just gaffer tape,
Brilliant.
basically.
I had no money. I worked in a call center. I had
I'm
no
pretty
money.
sure your cymbals
I,
had
like,
gaffer tape on them at some point as well.
No, well, sure. I spent like 300 quid on like one cymbal and like 2 practices, and I cracked it. It's like the worst in the world. Heartbroken.
Brilliant. All right, I think we're gonna have to leave it there. It is now 1 hour and 17 minutes in. So, Giulietta, 2 things for you. One, you need to name this podcast, so a hashtag, and then think of something, and then you have to lead us out, basically.
I'm super surprised that the second thing wasn't you have to watch
Yeah,
Rogue
you
One.
have to watch that as well.
How many times have you seen it now, Matt?
I've seen it 3 times. So, in fact, which is, you know what, considering I saw the last Star Wars 6 times, and I prefer this one, I've only seen it 3 times. It's maybe because
You're slacking.
No, it's
Yeah.
not slacking. It's because I just don't want to overdo it because I enjoyed it that much.
He has a
I just wanna
girlfriend.
Sort of
He's
kind of.
No, he has a girlfriend.
I'm currently
That's what it
late and
is.
getting in trouble, so I'm sort of. So okay, so let's get it. Okay, yeah. So yes. So podcast name.
Hashtag Matt's whipped.
Matt is not whipped. Matt is definitely not whipped. Matt, I am a man.
It sounds...
I am an anchorman.
What?
No, I don't know.
No. What's going on?
English, please.
No,
You know I don't
just no.
speak
It'll be
Spanish.
Polish versus Irish. who are the biggest alcoholics or something? Maybe something.
Hashtag.
Everyone drinks. Or I don't know.
Hashtag vagina.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, but I just
Hashtag
that's a good
didn't
one.
know whether
That's a
that
good
was
one.
appropriate or not.
Family Guy
Well,
reference.
yeah,
Brilliant.
okay. Why not? The last 3 hashtags we've had have been pornographic, so why not just carry on?
We had porn gifts and chill the other week.
Yeah,
so
we had
that's
porn
all
gifts
right.
and chill, fallacious Hanukkah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Fallacious Hanukkah. I don't even know where the fuck that. I haven't listened to that episode yet.
Mike, I take it.
And then so hashtag vagina boobs.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. Before G-Sizzle leads us out of the podcast, I will remind you of our new shitty giveaway where Mike Orvis will give you a can of energy drink, some special energy drink, a letter personalized from himself.
A Ginster's pie or a Ginster's.
Oh yes, a pasty, a Ferrero Rocher, a half-eaten Ferrero Rocher, and a badge, a Geek Pride badge. And you can get that if you send us the hashtag on GeekPride1 at Twitter. XCOM, what is it? XCOM
give it to you.
XCOM,
go and give it to you.
XCOM give it to. Yeah, XCOM give it to you.
But add hashtag vagina boob also.
Oh, hashtag vagina boob will be our next one. So
Can I add something to the random crap box?
yeah, yes, you can. You can have a random crap box. Or here, do you know what? We can do one now. If you want to have one of your own, vagina boob. Hashtag vagina boob.
Okay.
What are you going to give us? What are you going to give us?
No, what's going on?
It's so bad.
It's going to be really shitty, but it's going to be completely a surprise.
Okay, so you're going to get a shitty surprise.
But it's going to be like...
The mystery
it's going to be
giveaway.
shitty, but funny, but also geeky at the same time.
Right, okay. So, if you want to send... What's your Twitter handle?
That's a good question. I think it's like Bo Peep. Wait a second, I've got it here.
Professional.
Yeah, very good at the old self-marketing there.
Wait, no, I don't have it here. I don't really like Twitter, if I'm honest with you.
Oh, no.
This is where you've got to, like, kind of Google yourself a little bit. This is stupid.
I did that once. Terrible idea. Hundreds of things.
Well, you shouldn't have done it. Yeah, you shouldn't have done it in a schoolyard. That's
An
just
open
your first
window.
mistake.
XCOM going to give it to you.
Oh, God.
No.
Okay, it's Bo Peep 1.
Okay, so Bo Peep 1.
BEAU. PWP 1.
Okay, so spell that again.
BEAU.
Yep.
PEEP 1.
Yeah, so Bo Peep 1. Send that and to Geek Pride 1. Hashtag vagina boob.
Vagina
boobs. Send us that hashtag and you will get a shitty surprise from Giulietta. Nobody knows what it's going to be, but it's going to be shitty and it's going to be a surprise.
It's such a surprise that I don't even know what it is. No, I have got some really good ideas. I'm full of them.
All right, so there you go. So we've got two. We've got our very own shitty giveaway and Giulietta's very own shitty giveaway for you. So you've got XCOM Give It To You and we're going to have vagina boobs. Is it vagina boob or vagina boobs?
Vagina boob.
How many vaginas
Vagina
can you get
boob.
on a boob? You can only do the one.
Just the one.
What if they sort of kind of span?
Why did I
the
do
boobs?
this? No,
Don't even
Well,
get into it. Jesus Christ.
Wouldn't that be vaginas?
No,
boob.
it's just
Vagina
very big.
boobs
It's
would be
just-
more
it's
than
just a
one.
very big vagina that spans the boobs.
Jesus.
But vagina boobs
Quick,
would be
say
more
something
than
about
one
Warhammer, then
vagina
we can
boob.
dislodge this train of thought.
Rube 1.
Ooh. Okay. Right.
How many vagina boobs does Slanesh have, do we think?
Many.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So there's the two giveaways for you. I'll put a thing on Facebook and on Twitters and Instagram and stuff for that anyway. So yeah, Giulietta, lead us out. So we'll cut here and I'll edit for you. So what you need to do is just say, thanks for listening. I've been Giulietta, and then we will go down to her names. And
Same
then
order,
say
take it?
Good night. Same order.
Oh, wait, what?
Oh, leave it in.
I'm totally not editing this.
I'm letting your team
you basic-
down, I'm sorry.
Yeah. fuck's sake, man. Can't get the help these days. You're just going to outro us. You're just going to go, well, this has been the Geek Pride cast. I've been Giulietta. Then I'll say I've been Matt Geary. Then Sean Wallace, Dave Foy, Bevan Clapworthy, Bevan XCOM Clapworthy. And then you just say goodbye, and that'll be it.
Okay.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1.
Well, this has been the Geek Pride. No, start that again. Whoa. This has been the Geek Pride crab.
Geek Prats. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Vagina poop.
There's only one thing he said that day. Vagina poop.
Brilliant.
Okay, take 2.
Right,
Go.
so, okay. Ooh, Scrabber. I can't even remember what I was going to say now. God damn it.
It's okay. Yeah,
Alright,
bye, everyone.
Alright, bye, everyone.
Matt,
Bye.
just do it, and I'll just be like, bye now.
Okay. So, no, because I was gonna try and do it in your voice, but then I know I'll fuck up your second name again.
No,
and then
go on, please, do it.
And then you'll shout at me.
Right, okay, look, let's just... Okay,
Sean,
so... Right,
no.
everybody, thank you very
No.
much for listening. This has been the Geek Pride podcast. I've been...
No, I'm not listening to
No.
you right now.
No.
I'm not listening to you.
For Christ's sake.
No, you've got to do it in a really annoying girl's voice. So try and
you've gotta-
channel your
you- go on.
Giulietta, and you've got to be like, so my name's
I need-
Giulietta, and thank you for coming. And...
Okay, go on,
Okay,
Sean.
can we keep that in so that people know I'm not just being randomly
Okay.
evil? Because I don't want to get this reputation
Well,
as being
you're
a horrible person.
You are the Jew hater and the the guy who sort of just mocks women randomly at the end of podcasts. So, you know.
Exactly. So, all right, okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm a cosplayer.
That's your motivation. You got costumes to make, Sean. You got to get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, what am I doing? Right.
See,
Well, I've been Giulietta. And
That's not a girl's voice. That's
This
that's
has
a
been the
14-year-old
Geek
boy
Pride
reaching
podcast.
puberty.
yeah,
It's like Kevin
that's
the
your
teenager.
average con. That's your yeah, that's your average cosplayer right there.
So unfair.
Oh, you.
You know what?
Well, see, this is where you need
Yeah.
this is where you need Mike Orvis with his multiple voices. I am Kermit the Frog here.
I'm getting out of here.
Oh, that was really good.
Oh, Bevan, do it. Bevan, do that. That was amazing. Quick, Kermit
Yeah,
is out.
Kermit is out. But in a Giulietta cosplay sort of way.
Yeah.
What? What voice acting?
I am Julie.
Kermit
you gotta do- I'm-
Zawadzki needs to lead us out.
Kermit
Zawadzki,
Zawadzki.
Zawadzki.
Zawadzki. Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry, I couldn't get it right either. So
Okay. Okay, well, I've been Kermit Zawadzki.
Incredible. Absolutely
I
incredible.
loved it.
yes. Right, so we gotta do it. No, we gotta do it. So yeah, I've been Kermit Zawadzki.
Okay.
Yeah. And this has been the Geek Pride cast. And then from there, do that.
We should keep all of this in because this
incredible.
is better than everything we've done up to this point.
All right, go, do it.
I can't do it now. Okay, right. Shake it out.
Did you get
See,
did you
everyone's
get
mocking
stage
me
fright?
for
Did
my
you get stage
badness.
fright? Do it.
We believe in you, Bevan.
Okay.
Believe in the heart of the cards.
Well, I've been Kermit Zawadzki. This has been the Geek Pride podcast.
And I've been Matt Geary.
I've been David Foy.
I've been Sean Wallace.
I've been Beverly XCOM.
Good night,
Good
y'all.
night.